Tim and Jim, James, how are you guys?
Great, really good.
Welcome back to the Peace Hub because you last played here 34 years ago, Tim.
Yeah, don't remind us. I mean, I didn't remember until someone tweeted me today, but it was, it was a Rainforest benefit gig, I think. Virginia McKenna, Born Free, and Bill Travers, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
And Gil Scott Heron, and we did our little bit. I don't think we did much, and yeah.
This venue has changed a bit since then. I think it's spectacular. You've been out on stage sound checking. How did it look to you from the stage?
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it's hot out there today. It was really sunny. I'm not complaining, by the way, but it was a beautiful, fantastic venue.
Do you like outdoor gigs, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I like the challenge of adapting to whatever gig is put in front of you. You know, there's some gigs though that have good acoustics and some that don't. That's the only nervous thing sometimes. So you never quite know until you go out there. But we have an amazing sound man. So we played a gig recently, I think it was the Bristol one, which is famously bad sound, but he got a famously good sound out of a famously bad building. So we trust him implicitly.
We've been secretly rehearsing a six-piece choir we pulled them from the orchestra and choir tour, and it was like, let's have them and try it with the electric and see what it's like. So we've had an hour sound check to desperately see if we can get some songs together to work with the choir in James fashion of, we'll be improvising, they won't know what's going on, it will be a great piece of chaos.
Fantastic. Have you enjoyed working with the orchestra, Jim?
Oh, it's been amazing. Yeah, a real privilege. I mean, back in 2011 was a real revelation, and for some reason we didn't record or film it. Don't know why. And then this time, we've kind of seen the sense really, and we've put an album out with the orchestra and the choir, and then we're filming it in Athens. Going to Athens in a couple of days, and we're going to film it. So that'll be
at the Acropolis.
Yeah. Amazing.
In the Parthenon, which will be amazing.
So the album is Be Open by the Wonderful, and it's I think James are doing your best shows of your life.
Thank you. That's what we feel at the moment. I think when the two women came in the band, they brought some kind of balance that we hadn't had before, and all male band, and it sounds on paper obvious, but it's made a massive difference to us. And somehow we're just having more fun. We're less concerned about the indie police, the tortured artist myth, and we're more having like a fantastic celebratory time. I mean, we've always have a dark side to us, and there's always a dark side in the lyrics, but then at the end of it, there's always this kind of uplift, and we come off the stage buzzing every time.
Are you finding writing easy, Jim?
Yeah, and we're loving writing. It's a continual process with us. I mean, it's like as soon as we can, we get back into the rehearsal room and start writing again. We're absolutely loving it. It's where our kind of focus and attention is. It's the kind of the edge of our creativity. It's when new stuff feeds us and we get the buzz from that. It's the next stage of who and what James is going to be, and that's kind of thrilling and really exciting.
Is that every time?
Yeah, we have a very unusual process. Well, this time, the album we're working on right now, a new one, we went up to Broughton Hall, hired a cottage. We do it in 5 or 6 day bursts, and we do 5 or 6 hours a day, and we just hit a drum machine, any tempo, and we improvise for hours, 5 or 6 hours, and it's really quite meditative. And it's all about, there's the 4 of us writing, and it's about listening and reacting to each other. No one brings in anything, and then we record it all really well so it can be used on a record. And then it's up to each of us to choose jams that we think might turn into songs, and then we chop them up into demos. And no one can read the demos except us. We're the only ones. It's like Brian Eno was the only producer who could hear our demos and go, that's going to be a good song. But when we did Gold Mother demos for Jeff Travers, who are best ears in the business, really, he said he thought we were taking the piss, that we were purposely challenging him, and it was Gold Mother, it had all those songs on it, and he couldn't hear that how they were going to turn out. We made Gold Mother, and we put out Sit Down, and it did nothing, and because they did no promotion. And I had a meeting with him don't think you were there. I think it was me and Martine. And I said, you know, you didn't promote it. And he said, Tim, you have to realize you're never going to sell more than 25,000 records in your life. That's your limit. You're too weird. And I said, well, can we buy the album back off you then and take it to someone who has a different view of us? And he sold it back to us for, I forgot how much for.
I don't know. I think
It was cheap.
I think we basically paid the costs.
We paid the costs.
Yeah, bless it. I mean, I think he just realised that, okay, fair enough. We had a different vision of where we were going. We signed to Universal.
So we
That was it, really.
sit down, come home, all those songs back off him, and went on to Mercury Records, and then the thing flew.
And it's flying again now. I don't think that the James train has ever stopped, but like I said, it does feel like you're doing the best shows. And I think it sounds to me, from what you've said, Tim, like you're just quite relaxed in your approach now.
Oh, we're relaxed in creating tension. If you know, it's different. I mean, that's why we change the set every night. Like no one knows what songs we're going to play, and they'll be different tonight from tomorrow night, quite radically. And so you're in the gig and you look down and you go, oh, not that song. Damn, I can't remember the lyrics. And everyone's like going, can I remember how it goes? So we purposely challenge ourselves, but we're relaxed in that. In that if we mess it up, our audiences are very forgiving and they find it quite funny when I mess up the lyrics, or you know, somebody gets the wrong key or chords. Or
I mean, things go wrong. You know, when you take a risk, sometimes you bump into something absolutely amazing, brilliant that people don't expect, and other times it goes a bit wrong. You know, we stop songs and start again because it's not kind of quite working, not quite gelling. But people respect that. I think they realise that something live is happening. It's not, you know, all just a kind of this robotic repetition from night after night. There's something real there, and there's something spontaneous. And I think if you take that away, then you take away the potential for something really, really special to happen. And what we're looking for there is something special, something unique that we've never done before, and something special. And I say you have to accept the bits going wrong at the same time if you're going to do that. If you're going to take a risk, sometimes you're going to make a mistake. And if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you feel like you're doing do you feel like you're enjoying it more than ever?
I think we've found a way to make it much more enjoyable up there, and I don't quite know what it is. It's a mixture, I think, of the relationship between us all, and us all individually, I suppose, developing and progressing, myself becoming a human being that can kind of go up there with a carefree attitude, but at the same time accept the mistakes, but also look to push things further. You know, we want to get better and better and better and better. And I don't know what that means. I don't even know where that would take us, but we'd want to keep challenging ourselves, and we're restless in that respect. And I think we want to, you know, we're still searching for something, the elusive thing, and I don't know what that is after all these years, but we're still that keen. We are.
And hungry. Yeah. And I think the longevity thing, I think it's rare that a band can sustain the level of quality that we've managed to sustain. And that's what we feel. So tonight we'll drop in songs from over 40 years, and we'll drop in songs that half the audience won't know, and then that becomes a challenge to us to make them so good that they don't miss the fact that we might not play sometimes, or sit down or laid, till they're on the car on the way home and they go, they didn't play Laid, you know, or they didn't play Getting Away With It, but it was a great gig, you know, and they only noticed it when they left.
The challenge for us is always just to blow people's minds and to give them an amazing time. There'll be risks within that, and we will try and do it in a way which they're not expecting. We'll take them on a journey, you know, but we want to blow people away. We're not like, oh, we're going to do what we want to do and it doesn't care. We're aiming to take them somewhere special, and we do that by picking the songs we most want to play because they're the ones we can put the most into.
I was at Coldplay at the Etihad, Tim, and I was right at the front, and you were right in front of me. And I will never forget that as long as I live. How was it for you?
Really beautiful. You know, they were so welcoming and so honouring of us, and had a lovely couple of days basically with them. You know, they found a way to reach 70,000 size audiences with their light technology wristbands, brilliant, genius, really. And not many artists can play that size venue and make people at the back feel like they're part of the whole thing. And I find them very impressive. Chris has said in the past that he's inspired by us, but I was inspired by them. Their whole ecological stuff too, with the bicycles that are generating power, the dance areas that make kinetic power to fuel the shows, every ticket, a tree planted, just even that level of consciousness is really impressive.
You looked fabulous that night. Such great voice.
Darling, I always look fabulous. Yeah, thanks. I mean, yeah, one song, it's easy. It's not a hard gig. It was just joyful. I mean, Chris was like, I want the people of Manchester to show Tim what the band means to them and sing back to him. And I was like, whoa, what do I do with that? That was really moving to me.
Yeah, me too. Have a great show tonight, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Jim. Cheers, Tim.
Thank you.